Hey everyone, it's me and Wade, and this is the Keyhole tank that we set up redid last year, and it looks really bad. It's got lots of algae, and it's got a really, we redid the scape, and yeah, anyway, a lot's changed, a lot's going to change, and we're gonna talk about that in this video.
I know what you all must be thinking. What on earth happened to the tank? Why does it look different? Why is the scape different? What happened? Why is there driftwood? Where did all the plants go? Well, let me tell you what happened. So as soon as I put the keyholes in that tank, they started to eat all of the stem plants. Now they wouldn't eat the stems, they would just keep eating the leaves, and it just looked sad. Like I had all of these beautiful stem plants that had grown in, great color, just enjoying their best life, and then these fish showed up and they just ate all the leaves. It was awful. It was just like, no, why? And I tried everything I could think of. I was like, okay, more fertilizer, feed them more, plant-based foods. And it just didn't matter. Nothing I could do changed it. And then there was algae because all the plants were like being stunted. But they did leave the crypts alone. There were a couple crypts. They left them alone. And so I came up with the plan of, okay, I'm just going to take out all these stem plants that are left, and I'm just going to put in a bunch of crypts and other similar plants. The more I thought this plan through, the more I began to realize by changing all of the plants from stem plants to, well, pretty much anything else, wasn't going to give me the look that I wanted. I designed and I set up that tank for stem plants, and by changing it, I didn't see a way that I could make it look the way I originally intended. And the more I thought about it, looked at it, kind of worked through this in my mind, I realized I was probably going to have to change the look of the tank, which really sucked because I was so happy with the way the tank looked and the way I set it up. I was like, tons of stem plants, it's going to look so good. But I realized for the sake of the fish, I was probably going to have to change it. Now I can always do another tank with these stem plants in the future, so it's not the end of the world, but it's still pretty sad. And it was very hard to rescape this tank, to make a new kind of look, because I really liked the dark substrate, the black and the white of the rocks, that kind of contrast with the fish, but I realized by going with the crypts and stuff like that, I needed to add plants that were going to, add a hardscape that was going to create a good environment for them. And I was like, okay, let's mess around with the driftwood and adding some more rocks. And it was hard, and I really hated it. This is probably the least fun I've ever had aquascaping ever. But by the time I got to the end, I had the kind of finished product. I was happy with it. I thought it kept enough of the original vision while still giving me something a bit new that was going to work with the fish and that I could live with, that would look good with the plants that I was adding. And, I was okay with it. The excitement doesn't end there. Since setting it up with this new scape, there have also been other issues with a bristlenose pleco digging up the sand and kind of messing up my sand cap for the aqua soil. We've had algae issues probably as a result, but we've also had other issues like I can't get floating plants to grow, and without any stem plants, there's not a lot of fast growing plants left in this tank, so any excess nutrients is pretty much going straight to algae, which has been not really fun to deal with. Now I think it'll get better as these slower growing plants just fill in the tank, they get established, they'll be able to help keep the tank, and the balance should be a little bit easier to maintain. We also had issues with the fish, specifically with the red-eye monk tetras, or red-eye tetras, tetras with red eyes. There's lots of different names I think they have. Anyway, we had issues with them developing all sorts of weird symptoms. We had some that would become egg-bound, we'd had some that would develop tumors, just other weird things like this, and they would start passing away. We'd notice a few missing here or there. Ones we'd take out and try to treat, they just wouldn't recover. And I'm just kind of at a loss. There's still some left. We've taken them out because I think they're starting to get bothered by some of these other fish that we've added that I'll talk about in a second. But they just had all these weird issues, and some of them even now have some of these small tumors, it looks like, developing, and I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really know what to do. I don't know if this is a genetic issue. Is it just a bad batch of fish? You know, I don't see this in my other tetras that I have, so I don't think it's something I'm doing wrong, but I don't really know for sure. But I've decided just for now to take out these fish and let the keyholes just exist as they are. They are not shy at all in this tank. They're very outgoing, as you can clearly see. They do great. So there's no reason for me to put these fish in here for them to just get stressed out and have all these issues. The new fish we added to the tank are honeycomb catfish. Now these are a wood catfish, which are kind of this, I have no experience with wood cats before this, so I'm not going to go super in depth into this, but they seem to do really well with the keyholes because the keyholes are basically super active during the day, not very active at night, and these catfish only come out at night. And it's great with all these hiding spots with the wood, with the rocks. These catfish can just hunker down all day, come out at night. You know, they alternate cycles with the keyholes, so while the keyholes are being their boisterous selves, these guys can just kind of hide away, and it's great. The problem is, they do only come out at night. I don't have a lot of footage of them, but they're super cool, and hopefully we'll have some kind of breeding going on with them, or I definitely want to try to breed them, but we'll see how that goes. That's kind of more of a long-term goal. Right now, I'm just enjoying that there's at least a second species of fish in this tank that does well, and I'm going to just enjoy that. Now for the keyholes themselves. They're doing fantastic. We've had no issues. They have done great. They continue to do great. Even before we redid the tank, when there was tons of algae and stuff, they had eaten all the leaves, and the tank looked ugly because they'd eaten all the leaves and it was full of algae. They didn't care. They were just enjoying life, and they looked good. They've gotten bigger. They've spawned numerous times. And we just haven't been able to keep the eggs. The eggs keep disappearing. Someone's eating the eggs, and I don't know who or what or why. I can't make any sense of it. So hopefully we'll eventually be able to figure this out. We are still working on our fry system that we need just so we can pull the eggs out and kind of raise them, separate from the parents, so we can actually just get some of these guys going. But once that's built, I'm sure we'll have batches of these guys going because they play pretty regularly, and by doing water changes and stuff like that, we can usually trigger them to spawn pretty easy. Yeah, but anyway, they're just doing great. They're not shy at all. They love this rescape. I don't know what it is, but they just enjoy this tank. These are pretty notoriously shy fish, at least according to what I've read. And they're all over the place. They're not shy at all. They love the tank. They're enjoying life. And it makes me happy just having these big, kind of full, pretty much full-grown Keyhole Cichlids spawning, just doing great. It's so nice. They're so fun to watch. And I really do love this fish. And I'm so excited to get some fry and share that in videos. And we'll do updates and stuff in the future on this. And yeah, it's just such a fun fish to have. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking, subscribing, dinging the little alert bell. Leave a comment. If you have these fish, have experiences with any other dwarf cichlids, leave that in the comments. I just want to talk about this fish and put it out there for more people to see because they're just so fun. But anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.